The Microsoft Flight Simulator series boasts a history as rich as its landscapes, soaring from humble beginnings on early Apple II computers in the 1980s. What began as an 8-bit simulation has transformed into a stunningly realistic experience, culminating in a breathtaking vistas of Flight Simulator 2024, following the success of Flight Simulator 2020. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Stuart from SB Simulators, and I welcome you to Honest Reviews, the series that is dedicated to providing you with reviews that are unfiltered and free from any influence from manufacturers. The series prides itself on being a pro-consumer series, ensuring that all my content remains unbiased and trustworthy. Unlike many other review platforms, I do not accept any sponsorship from companies, allowing me to maintain the integrity and honesty of the series and deliver you a fully unfiltered and honest opinion. With that, here is my honest review on Flight Simulator 2024. The developer in question, Azobo Studios, is a French developer located in Bordeaux with 250 employees as of 2022. Founded 20 years prior, the studio initially focused on creating video game adaptations of Disney Pixar movies. Their early work included popular titles that brought beloved animated characters to life in interactive formats. The 2010s marked a significant period for Azobo as they developed the Xbox 360 version of The Crew 1 and served as a support developer for The Crew 2. These projects showcased their technical prowess and ability to collaborate on large-scale games. Shortly afterward, they gained recognition as the developers of Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024, earning acclaim for their attention to detail and realistic simulation experiences. This transition to flight simulation solidified their reputation as a versatile and innovative game development studio. The Sim's physics feels realistic and makes the planes enjoyable to fly. When the realism settings are tweaked to match the real-world physics, they react and behave just like how a plane would in the real world. I love especially how light general aviation aircraft like the Cessnas and the twin-prop planes react to the air and turbulence when airborne. With the excellent simulation of general aviation aircraft, it makes the Sim an attractive choice for those who prefer flying general aviation planes over airliners with VFR flying. The realistic physics and behavior of the planes make the experience immersive and engaging, allowing the pilots to practice and refine their skills in a virtual environment that closely mirrors real-world conditions. Whether you're navigating through calm skies or handling the challenges of turbulence, the Sim provides a rewarding and authentic flying experience. It's no secret that graphics are the main selling point to Flight Simulator 2024. When compared to the previous iteration, however, there really isn't any difference apart from the lighting being tweaked on the 2024 version. I personally felt let down by the lack of innovation in the graphical end of the Sim, as there's little difference between the two. Don't get me wrong though, the graphics are still amazing in the Sim. I just wish they added a bit more to it instead of just saturating the colours and improving the lighting. However, the textures make up for it though, as they provide a detailed representation of the airports that I have been to. As you can see in this clip, I am walking around the entirety of Cork Airport and it looks just like how the airport would look in the real world. The Sim uses data from Bing Maps, just like the previous iteration. While I am not a big fan of the buildings look in the Sim, I'm generally really impressed with how they captured the accurate landscape within the Sim. As you can see in this next clip, I am flying a helicopter around Dublin City, the capital of Ireland, and just seeing it accurately portrayed in the Sim makes it really immersive and makes it really amazing getting to see Dublin from another perspective. Just to clarify something, the game was recorded on a brand new computer I bought for myself a month prior to making this review, as I played FS 2020 on a weaker system. I was playing the Sim on an RTX 4070 GPU with DLSS and AI frame generation turned on, and I was honestly blown away by the amount of FPS the Sim was producing, which is just under 140 FPS at most. Seeing this compared to the frames that I was getting on my previous computer, which was running on a GTX 1660 Ti, was a massive difference with performance for me. Now of course the performance varies on whereabouts you're flying in the world, but as you can see in this clip, I was flying over Glendalough, an old heritage site located in Ireland, and the frame rate was astounding, as you can see here in this little benchmark. Obviously for towns and cities I was flying over, the performance would dip slightly below 100 FPS. But overall I was really amazed with the performance that I was getting on ultra settings, mind you. While most of the sim is copy and pasted from FS 2020, there was one feature that I felt really stood out the most for me in FS 24, and that is being able to walk around the plane and interact with it. Here you can see I am taking the covers off the engines of the plane and checking the landing gear struts on it as well, along with even checking the elevators and the ailerons and being able to interact with them as well. This is a very unique feature to the sim, and it is something that I don't think any other flight sim that I have played in all my time has ever thought of in all my time flight simming. And yes, if you fancy running around the airport like an absolute lunatic, you can do that as well. You can even interact with the environment within the airport and outside of it too. The fact that Azobo lets players do that without any restrictions is an absolute game changer in my opinion. Not only that, you can even open and close the doors on the outside of the plane, including the cargo doors, so bonus points for the sim just for the pure freedom of it as well. Now, while there are many good things about the sim, there are a few downsides to it, particularly two of them that I wish to address in my review. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. The sim itself uses cloud storage that runs off a massive mainframe server in the Microsoft headquarters for scenery, airplanes and weather. Essentially, a lot of the scenery and weather is streamed to your computer instead of running off the files installed on your computer like the previous versions of Flight Sim did in the past.
50.
I have mixed feelings about this though. On one hand, there's a massive benefit to it, which is that it takes up far less storage on your PC than the previous version did, which is great for someone like me who runs a lot of programs on my computer, from racing sims, flight sims, and even third-party add-ons for such sims. For example, when I installed Flight Sim 2020, it took up nearly a whole terabyte of storage on my SSD, leaving me with very little room to install other programs. Thanks to FS24 cloud storage feature, it takes care of that problem massively. However, on the other hand, the sim is online only, meaning that if you want to play Flight Sim 24, you will need an active internet connection to play it. Case in point, on the 19th of November, which is when Flight Sim 24 first launched, no one was able to play it as the servers were completely overrun by so many people logging on to play it on launch day. As a result, the servers failed. Obviously, it left a lot of people angry, as some of them spent well up to €200 of their hard-earned money just to be told that they can't play it because the server crashed on launch day. Next, the UI is not as good as the last one was in Flight Sim 2020. The menus within the UI look like they were crammed and cluttered into one spot, making it a bit more difficult to find the section that you want to go to within the UI. Each menu feels smaller and it just doesn't look as good as the previous version does. Even the way the settings menu works now is honestly a massive step back compared to the previous version. When you are assigning a command button in the settings menu, you are not setting it for every aircraft as a whole. You are only setting it for the one plane you have selected. This means that when you go to change aircraft, you will have to reassign that function again in the new aircraft you have selected, which makes it extremely tedious to do. I find this really disappointing because compared to the previous version, Flight Sim 2020, the UI felt much more easier to navigate in, and most importantly, the settings menu applies to all default aircraft, not just one plane at a time like in Flight Sim 24. As you can see in this clip, Flight Sim 2020's UI just feels much more organized and spaced out very well, making it easier to navigate through different menus when you're looking for that particular function needed in the sim. On top of all that, Flight Sim 2024 costs €8 alone for the base game, with the premium version of it, the Aviator version, costing up to €220 on Steam. That makes it €10 more expensive than Flight Sim 2020 base version costed, which is a bit of a rip-off if I'm being quite honest here. It's a good thing though that I took out a subscription for Game Pass just to avoid paying that much to provide you with this review. If I'm being even more honest, it should be a bit more cheaper considering that the game is online only. The in-game missions such as the landing challenges are buggy and makes it very hard to complete them. I tried to do a landing challenge from Madeira Funchal Airport and I was greeted with a plane that would not function properly during the mission. Meanwhile, in free flight it was functioning just fine. Take a look at this clip.
2,500.
Stall.
1,000. 400, 300, 200, 100.
Yeah, honestly, it was really infuriating to deal with. And yet, Microsoft wants to charge people €80 just to play this while the missions are buggy as hell. That is not on. Not on whatsoever. Bloody hell, Microsoft. And I know people are going to say that I can just not do them at all. While yes, that is true. But when I pay as much as nearly €220 for a product, I expect all the final features of it to be working right out of the box. That includes any missions and landing challenges that I fancy doing. Overall, Flight Simulator 2024 does what it sets out to do, and that's to provide everyone with a realistic experience of flying airplanes. Whether if you're a casual gamer looking to try something new, or a hardcore enthusiast like I am, it provides with a wide range of aircraft to fly within the sim, from general aviation to airliners to gliders, military jets, helicopters, and for the first time, hot air balloons. Sadly though, you can't do 400 knots in any of them though. Wink wink. For me, however, it feels more like a glorified graphical update to Flight Sim 2020, and the fact that it's online only makes it a huge turn off for me. Because of that, I will most likely be sticking with Flight Sim 2020 for the time being when I'm doing airline flights and even conducting VATSIM flights with friends. Plus, I could still play it offline should I ever run into a situation where my internet goes down unexpectedly. But if you really want to play Flight Sim 24, I would recommend getting it on Game Pass, where you will only be paying for the subscription price of the service instead of paying full price for the sim. If you really want to buy the premium versions of it, then I would only recommend buying them if there's an aircraft that you're really eager to fly in Flight Sim 24. Otherwise, just get it on Game Pass or buy it when it goes on sale on Steam. So, that is my review on Flight Simulator 2024, and also my first ever video on my brand new PC that I bought a month prior. And as you can probably tell in my review, I am very happy to have my new PC, as it's a massive step up compared to my last system. Honestly, my new PC is a huge massive game changer for not only flight sims, but also racing sims as well, as it's made it a more smoother and buttery experience for games such as iRacing, AC, and even ACC. The only hurdle that I have with my new PC was trying to get a feel for Windows 11, but once I did get used to it, I was really impressed with how fast and smooth Windows 11 was operating. Despite the negative feedback that it got at the start, I am honestly enjoying using Windows 11 and its features. For me, I found it to be much more smoother and faster than Windows 10 did, and it honestly made it a more pleasant experience to navigate around the user interface. So for those who didn't see my YouTube post from a month prior, all the content, including videos and streams, will be produced from my new computer, and I'll be honestly looking forward to see if the quality of the videos is even more better than it did on my last system. So I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day to check out this review. Your support means a lot, and it keeps me motivated to bring you honest reviews on this channel. And no matter what product I featured on Honest Reviews, whether if it's a simulator, a game, hardware or software, it makes me happy knowing that you guys are enjoying seeing these honest reviews on this channel. So with that being said, thank you again for watching, and until next time, goodbye.